Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to be looking at a really powerful chapter from the ancient book of Micah. And honestly, it deals with one of the biggest questions we all face. How do you find real, solid hope when it feels like your world is falling apart? The answer Micah gives is, well, it's pretty stunning. And you'll see just how much it speaks to us today.
So to really get the punch of chapter 4, you have to see where chapter 3 ends. I mean, Micah leaves his audience with an image of absolute, total devastation. For the people of Jerusalem, the temple wasn't just a building, it was the center of their universe, the very symbol of God's presence. And Micah says it's going to be completely wiped out. It's a picture of utter despair. There's no coming back from this.
And then, bam, without even a pause, the very next sentence flips the whole thing on its head. We go from a pile of rubble to the highest, most glorious mountain on earth. And now people from all over the world are flocking to it. The whiplash is just incredible. So here's the central question. How can both of these things be true? How do you get from total ruin to this amazing restoration? That's the puzzle Micah is about to solve for us. And the way he does it is by structuring his whole message around these three little phrases. You can think of them like signposts on a map. The end of days points us to the ultimate promised future. Now pulls us right back into the painful, messy present. And in that day, well, that's the moment God acts to connect the present pain to the future promise. If you follow these markers, the whole story just opens up. So let's start where Micah starts, with the final destination. He paints this picture of an incredible future, a vision of perfect peace that he calls the end of days. So what does this world actually look like? Let's break it down. What's so amazing here is that this vision of peace isn't something humans just figure out themselves. No, it's a process, and it has these clear steps. It all starts when people from all over the world actually want to learn God's ways. From that desire comes a willingness to let him be the judge, the one who settles all the arguments. And it's only then that weapons become totally useless. The result isn't just a temporary ceasefire. It's this deep, lasting safety, where, as the text says, literally no one will make them afraid. Imagine. Okay, so we've got this beautiful vision of a future kingdom of peace. The next logical question is, who gets to live there? Who are the citizens of this restored world? Well, Micah's answer, which he reveals using that phrase, in that day, is not at all what you'd expect. I mean, just look at this list. This kingdom isn't built by recruiting the powerful, the rich, or the successful. It's built with the lame, the outcasts, the people who've been hurt and kicked to the curb. God specifically says he's going to gather up the very ones he has allowed to suffer and transform them into a strong nation. This is a complete reversal of how our world works. And this points to a massive idea at the heart of Micah's message. God's power isn't shown off by using things that are already strong. No, his true strength, his glory, is seen most clearly when he takes the weak, the broken, and the forgotten and makes them the very foundation of his kingdom. It completely redefines what real strength is. So, after that breathtaking vision of the future, Micah yanks us back to reality with a jolt. He makes us look square in the face at the raw, difficult experience of now. You can just feel the shift in tone, can't you? It's jarring. The people are crying out, they're panicking, they feel totally leaderless, helpless, like they've been abandoned. And Micah uses this incredibly intense metaphor of childbirth, a pain that is just overwhelming, it takes over everything. This isn't some far-off problem, it's right here, right now, and it's gut-wrenching. And this suffering isn't just one bad day. Micah describes it as a journey, a painful, step-by-step process of losing everything. They're forced out of their homes, they have to live exposed in the fields, and eventually they're marched into exile. And the final destination? Babylon, the capital of their enemy's empire, the ultimate symbol of their defeat. But then, right there, at rock bottom, comes the most important twist in the entire chapter. Right after describing this moment of ultimate despair, the text says that Babylon, the place of the deepest suffering, is going to be the exact location of their rescue. The place of their greatest pain is also the place of their salvation. And this reveals the brilliant central message of Micah 4. See, God isn't absent in the middle of the disaster. He is secretly working out a hidden plan. What looks like a total victory for the enemy is actually just one move in a much larger divine chess game. This is just an incredible moment of dramatic irony. You've got two completely different perspectives on the same event. The nations gathering against Sion think they're winning. They're gloating, they see a defeated people ready to be crushed.
But God reveals they are clueless. They have no idea what his plan is. They think they're the hunters, but God says, nope, I'm the one who gathered you here, like grain that's about to be threshed and judged. And then God gives this unbelievable command to the people of Zion who seem totally defeated. He says, arise and thrash. He empowers the victim to become the instrument of his victory. The one who was about to be crushed is now given the strength to carry out judgment on her enemies. It is a complete and total power flip. So, what does this all mean for us today? The biggest takeaway is that we too live in this exact same tension. We all live somewhere between our own painful now and God's promised future. So, how are we supposed to navigate that space? What Micah does here is completely redefine hope. It's not wishful thinking. It's not some spiritual drug you take to numb the pain of what's really happening. True biblical hope is the strength that empowers you to look reality in the eye, to walk through the suffering, because you trust that God has a bigger plan and an ultimate victory on the other side. Restoration is a journey, a process, not an instant trip to paradise. This whole vision of a world finally at peace, with a just king ruling from Zion, it's so much more than a nice fairy tale. Micah's message makes it crystal clear that this isn't some utopia humans can build on our own. It's a picture of God's kingdom, a reality that can only be brought about by a promised Messiah, a divine king who finally establishes God's perfect role on earth. And that really leaves us with a final, searching question to think about. Micah presents this vision where real, lasting peace only happens when God is recognized as the one true king. So as we think about our own lives and the chaos in the world around us, it's worth asking ourselves, who or what is really sitting on the throne of my life? Where am I really placing my trust to find peace and security?